All right. So are you ready? Let's dive deep into body transformations.
Yeah.
All those sources you gave us, it seems like you want to like lose fat, build muscle, all that good stuff. Maybe you uncover some secrets that the pros use.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, we have an expert.
Absolutely.
Expert speaker is here.
Yeah.
And you've trained like some of Bollywood's biggest names, right?
Yeah.
Ranbir Kapoor, Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah, that's right.
You're ready to kind of spill the tea on how to make those real transformations happen.
Yeah.
So let's just the confusion, let's unpack the science behind how to really make those changes. We're going to debunk some myths. We're going to explore how to find a program that actually works for you, not just some cookie cutter thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to give you some actionable strategies that you can implement right away.
Absolutely.
So what I think a lot of people get hung up on is the number on the scale.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think what's fascinating is how many people fixate on like losing weight or gaining weight, what they really need to focus on is body composition. So you could have two people that weigh exactly the same,
Right.
but they look completely different because of their body fat percentage.
Yeah.
So one person might have like a super low body fat percentage and the other has, a much higher one, but on the scale they're the same. So it's really kind of misleading to just go by like your weight.
Yeah, it's that body composition. Like you said, it's not just about how you look either. It's like your overall health.
Yeah, yeah.
Having a higher body fat percentage, regardless of what the scale says, can lead to, a lot more health problems. So if we're not just going by the scale, how can we accurately measure body composition? Like, what are some reliable methods that we can use?
Yeah, so there are a few ways to go about it. Like you have like simple tools like, a tape measure to track those inches lost. And sometimes that's even like more motivating than the scale.
Yeah.
You can also use like calipers, which can give you a rough estimate of your body fat at home.
Mm.
And then you have like more advanced methods like the body fat analysis machines. But those can be a bit tricky.
I've tried those machines, like the ones you stand on, you hold the handles.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've gotten wildly different readings depending on like the machine and even the time of day.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
Yeah. They can be super inconsistent. So it's important to like know their limitations.
Okay.
And also like even if you see the number on the scale kind of plateauing, don't panic. You could still be losing fat and gaining muscle. Muscle is denser than fat.
Right.
So it takes up less space.
Right. It's like that saying muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really about the composition.
For sure.
Not just the weight. And that brings me to something that I saw in the sources that you provided. This emphasis on patience and consistency.
Oh, absolutely. Real transformations take time. And dedication, it's like compound interest.
Yeah.
It's those small, consistent efforts you put in day after day that add up over time to create those big, significant results.
So it's not about like the quick fixes and the crash diets. It's about building sustainable habits.
Yes.
Right. For the long haul.
Yes.
And Shivohaam, who we saw in that YouTube video,
yes.
he really embodies that.
He does.
He does.
That philosophy.
Yeah, and he talks about how, like, even for celebrities,
right,
like Ranbir Kapoor, real change happens gradually.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember he trained Ranbir for that movie Animal?
Yeah.
And they, like, packed on a significant amount of muscle, but it took, like, a whole year of, like, structured training and unwavering consistency.
A whole year?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember that part of the video. He was talking about, like, watching all these, like, young guys at the gym who just want that, like, immediate...
A quick fix.
Yeah, and he was like, you gotta play the long game.
Like, invest in your health. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just chasing, like, this temporary change. It's about, like, building a foundation for, like, a lifetime of well-being.
And that brings us to another important point, and this was also in the sources that you gave me. Finding the right program.
Yeah.
And actually seeking expert guidance.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so much information out there.
So much, especially on social media.
It's overwhelming. It's like a jungle.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you even know where to start?
Yeah.
With all these, like, conflicting opinions and, like, these flashy programs that promise, instant results.
Yeah. And it's like every fitness influencer is pushing their thing. You're like,
and their products and yeah.
You get lost in the sea of information, and then you waste your time and effort on something that doesn't work.
Exactly. And that's where having a qualified trainer or a coach can really make a difference, because they can assess your individual needs and create a structured program that's tailored to you and your goals,
right,
and guide you through the process safely and effectively.
Shivan talked about that in the video, right?
He did.
He's talking about how he'd seen different bodybuilders achieve success with completely different programs.
Different programs, yeah.
So it's about finding what works best for you.
Exactly. It's not blindly following someone else's routine.
Right.
A good coach can help you cut through all the noise and create a roadmap for success.
It's like having that personal guide,
Yeah.
through the fitness maze, so you don't run into all the dead ends and waste your time.
Yeah.
And speaking of time and effort, I think there's this misconception out there that more is always better.
Yeah.
When it comes to working out.
Yeah.
If you want to see results, you got to be hitting the gym every day.
Yeah. And that's actually a myth that we need to debunk, because our bodies need rest to recover.
Right.
And rebuild muscle. Remember, he talked about catabolic and anabolic phases.
Do you refresh my memory?
Yeah. So during training, our bodies are in a catabolic state.
Okay.
Meaning muscle tissue is actually breaking down.
Right.
It's during rest and recovery, so the anabolic phase, that the magic happens. The body repairs and rebuilds those muscles, so that's how they get stronger.
So if we're pushing ourselves too hard without giving our bodies enough rest, we're actually hindering our progress.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, trying to drive a car with a flat tire. You need to give it time to repair and refuel.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So Shivohaam recommends at least 2 days of rest per week.
Yeah, at least. But, it's important to listen to your body and adjust accordingly.
Right.
Some people might need more, others might need less.
Yeah. So rest and recovery are just as important as the workouts themselves. Okay, got it. But, when we DO train, how do we make those workouts really count?
Yeah.
What does an effective workout structure actually look like?
Yeah, so this is where his recommended workout structure for beginners kind of comes in.
Okay.
And he emphasizes that even a 30-minute workout can be super effective if it's structured correctly.
Okay, so it's not about spending hours at the gym.
Yeah.
It's about using your time wisely.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
So he breaks it down into these key components.
Okay.
Warm-up, activation.
Okay.
Functional training, strength training, core work, and cool down. Each element plays a role in getting those optimal results.
So it's like a recipe for a successful workout.
Yeah.
Each ingredient is carefully selected to create the perfect dish.
Yeah, I like that.
So let's break down each of these components. Starting with the warm-up. Why is it so important to start with a warm-up?
So warming up is basically prepping your body for the main event. It increases blood flow, raises your body temperature, and helps activate the muscles that you're going to be using.
Okay.
And that reduces the risk of injury.
Right. So it's like stretching before you go for a run. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't just take off sprinting.
You don't just go 0 to 100.
Right. Okay. And what about activation? What's the purpose of that?
So activation focuses on engaging the smaller, stabilizing muscles that often get overlooked during more traditional exercises.
Okay.
So think of it like fine-tuning a machine before you actually put it to work.
So we're making sure all the supporting players are
that they're firing properly.
Yeah, and doing their jobs so that we don't have imbalances and everything works efficiently.
Exactly. And Shivohaam suggests using resistance bands for exercises like sidewalks, abductions, and glute bridges.
Okay.
To really target those smaller muscles in the hips and shoulders. So then we kind of move on to the functional training. Yeah, and this is where things get exciting.
Okay, tell me more about that. What is functional training?
So functional training basically involves exercises that mimic everyday movements.
Okay.
So think squatting, pushing, pulling, and lifting.
Right.
Things that you actually use.
In daily life.
In your daily life, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's training your body to move efficiently, not just in the gym, but in
the real world.
Yeah, in real-world scenarios.
Okay.
So it improves your overall coordination, balance, and ability to just perform everyday tasks.
Like picking up groceries.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it sounds like it would burn a lot of calories too, right?
It does. It does. So it's like win-win for both your fitness and functionality.
Okay, I like that. And then we go on to strength training.
Yeah.
This is where we're lifting weights.
Yes.
Sculpting those muscles.
Exactly. So his structure focuses on like compound exercises. Okay.
Movements that engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously.
Right.
So this maximizes efficiency and allows you to work your entire body in like a shorter amount of time.
So we're not just isolating individual muscles.
Right. Yeah.
We're working the body as a whole.
Exactly. But even though this part of the workout is focused on like strength, he emphasizes like maintaining proper form and technique throughout each exercise.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Yeah. So lifting heavier weights isn't always better.
Yeah.
Especially if it compromises your form, which can actually lead to injuries.
Totally.
So it's about progressing gradually and safely, always focusing on performing each exercise correctly.
Okay. And then even though we're incorporating core work like throughout the workout, he has a specific section at the end.
At the end,
for like really challenging those abdominal muscles.
Exactly. So he recommends like static holds and isometric exercises.
Yeah. Core work. Can't forget that. Yes. It's so important.
So crucial for stability, posture.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure.
Overall strength.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've warmed up. We've activated those smaller muscles.
Yeah.
We've gotten our heart rate pumping with the functional training.
Yeah.
Built some muscle with the strength training, and then finished off with core work.
Yes.
So that sounds pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
What about cardio?
So his workout structure is kind of like cleverly designed so that cardio is incorporated within the functional and strength training.
Oh.
So it kind of eliminates the need for like a separate cardio session.
Interesting.
Especially for beginners.
So just by structuring the workout in a specific way, you're hitting all those key elements.
Yeah.
You know, without feeling overwhelmed or spending like hours and hours at the gym.
Yeah, and for people with like limited time, he suggests alternating. So like one day you do functional, the next day you do strength.
Okay.
So you're still getting like a well-rounded approach. Yeah.
But you can split it up.
Okay. I love how efficient this is.
Yeah.
And customizable, you know?
Yeah.
It empowers people to kind of create a routine that fits their needs and their schedule.
Oh, exactly. And then after a killer workout, of course, you need to cool down.
Yes.
That's really important.
Bring that heart rate back down.
Yeah. Stretch those muscles.
Yeah. Stretch those worked muscles.
Yeah. Allow your body to like transition.
Yeah. I always find that like a good cool down like reduces my muscle soreness the next day.
For sure. And the cool thing about Shivohaam is that he adds another layer to the cool down.
Okay.
Which is like mindfulness and affirmations.
Sure.
He suggests like focusing on your breath.
Yeah.
And incorporating these 3 like simple but powerful affirmations. Thanking your body, your breath, and the universe.
I love that.
Yeah.
It shifts the focus from just like the purely physical to like appreciating your body.
Yeah.
What it can do. Absolutely. It's about like cultivating that deeper connection between like your mind and body.
What stood out to you the most about his approach to workout so far?
What fascinates me is like how he emphasizes this like holistic approach.
Right.
Even within like a single workout.
Yeah.
It's not just about pushing yourself to the limit. It's about like listening to your body, practicing mindfulness.
Yeah.
Cultivating gratitude.
Yeah, it's really honoring that connection between our physical and mental.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground on like workout structure.
Yeah, we have.
From warm up to cool down.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your initial thoughts on this approach? What resonates with you?
I think what's really struck me is the efficiency and the intentionality.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's about making every minute count.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just mindlessly going through the motions.
Yeah.
And I love that he incorporates the mindfulness and the gratitude.
Yeah.
It's about more than just like transforming the physical.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's about like
the relationship with
nurturing that relationship with your body.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I completely agree.
Yeah, we covered a lot and there's a lot more to come.
Yeah. So I think we should pause here.
Okay.
Let everybody kind of digest this information.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll talk more about nutrition, supplements,
yes,
all that good stuff.
Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're back. Hopefully you had a chance to kind of think about how you might tweak your workouts,
Yeah.
for even better results.
Absolutely.
But we can't really talk about transformations without talking about food.
Absolutely. Nutrition is key.
Yeah. It's like they say abs are made in the kitchen.
Yes.
Which might sound kind of cliche.
But it's kind of true.
There's definitely truth to that. You can have like the most amazing workout routine, but if your nutrition isn't on point, you're not going to get those results that you're looking for. Think of it this way, like you wouldn't try to build a house on a shaky foundation.
Right.
Like no matter how like beautiful the structure is,
right.
if the foundation is weak, it's not going to last.
It's all going to come crumbling down.
Exactly. So nutrition is like providing the building blocks for everything. Muscle growth, energy production, recovery.
Yeah, it's like, the fuel.
Yes, it's the fuel.
It powers your workouts and your whole transformation.
For sure.
So it's not just about what we eat.
No.
It's when we eat.
Yeah.
How much we eat. Probably.
Portion sizes? Absolutely.
And that's where things get a bit tricky because there's so much information out there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All these different diet trends that come and go and you're like, what do I do?
I know. People get so confused.
I've been there and I've tried all those diets.
Yeah.
Some worked.
Yeah.
Some didn't. But I've learned there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. Everyone's body is different
and
has unique needs and responds to like different foods differently. What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah. So how do we even begin to navigate this like nutritional maze and find a plan that actually works for us? Where do we even start?
It all starts with like understanding the basic principles of nutrition.
Okay.
And how they apply to your individual goals. Whether you're aiming to lose weight, gain muscle, or just improve your overall health, there are certain fundamentals that stay the same.
Okay. So let's break it down. What are those key principles that we need to focus on?
Okay. So first and foremost, prioritizing whole, unprocessed foods.
Okay.
So fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, complex carbs.
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. The stuff that nourishes your body from the inside out.
So ditch the processed junk.
Yeah.
Eat real food.
Yeah, real food.
Yeah, okay.
And it's not just about the types of foods that you eat. It's also about, being mindful of portions.
Right. And that's where things like, calorie counting and macro tracking come in.
Yeah, they can be really helpful for some people, especially those who are like really focused on specific goals.
Right.
But, for a lot of people, simply focusing on eating whole, unprocessed foods in appropriate portions can lead to significant changes.
Right.
So it's like finding that balance, being mindful without getting like too obsessive about the numbers.
Right. Okay. So listening to your body, finding a way of eating.
Yeah.
That feels good. That feels sustainable.
Yes. And enjoyable, not like, restrictive and punishing.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But, some people, myself included, might need like a little extra help in this area.
Yeah.
Like what about working with a nutritionist or dietitian?
That can be super beneficial because they can help you create like a personalized nutrition plan that's based on your goals.
Right. Your preferences and any like dietary needs.
So it's like having a nutritional roadmap,
Yes, exactly. Tailored just for you.
And just like a roadmap helps guide you to your destination, a well-designed nutrition plan can help you achieve your goals.
Okay. So we've got the foundation, whole foods, balanced nutrition, personalized guidance when needed.
Yes.
But what about those times when we need like an extra boost?
Yeah.
We talked about pre-workout supplements.
Yeah.
But are there other types of supplements that can kind of enhance our nutritional intake?
Yeah, so there's like a whole world of supplements out there, each targeting different needs.
Okay.
But some of the most common ones are like protein powders, creatine, and omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay, let's break those down. Let's start with protein powders.
Okay.
What are they and why are they so popular? Like everyone's
talking about protein. So protein powders are basically concentrated sources of protein. They often come from whey, casein, soy, or even plant-based sources. Yeah. They're really popular because they provide like this convenient and easily absorbable form of protein, which is really important for muscle building and repair.
Right. So it's like an easy way to get your protein in.
Yes.
Especially after a workout.
Yeah. Right. And it can be especially helpful for people who like struggle to meet their protein needs through food alone.
Yeah.
Like athletes or people who are vegetarian or vegan.
So Not a necessity,
No.
but a good tool.
Yes.
Okay. What about creatine? I hear that a lot with strength training and muscle gain.
Yeah, so creatine is actually a naturally occurring substance found in our muscles. It plays a key role in energy production during like high intensity activities like weightlifting.
Right.
So supplementing with creatine can help you increase your muscle mass, your strength, and your power output.
So it's giving those muscles that extra oof
Yes.
during those tough workouts.
And it's actually one of the most well-researched and safe supplements available.
Okay.
With like proven benefits for athletes and people who are really into fitness.
So if you're looking to maximize your strength training, creatine might be something to consider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and omega-3 fatty acids. I know those are good for us.
Yeah.
Like for overall health.
For sure.
But do they specifically like play a role in fitness and body transformation?
Yes, they do. So omega-3 fatty acids, they're found in oily fish like salmon, mackerel. You can also find them in supplements like fish oil.
Yeah.
They have so many benefits for both our physical and mental well-being.
Yeah, heart health, brain function.
Yeah.
But how do they actually tie into our fitness goals?
So omega-3s have powerful anti-inflammatory properties, which can help reduce muscle soreness and speed up recovery. They also play a role in like improving insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for regulating blood sugar levels and optimizing how you utilize nutrients.
So it's not just about building muscle. It's about that recovery.
Recovery, yeah.
Yeah.
And the overall like health.
Yeah, supporting those systems.
Yes, exactly. And they have this added benefit of supporting cognitive function.
Right.
Which is really important for, staying focused and motivated throughout your fitness journey.
Yeah. It's amazing how like everything is interconnected.
It really is.
So we've got protein powders for boosting protein.
Yeah.
Creatine for that strength and power.
Yeah.
And omega-3s for recovery and overall health.
Yeah.
Any other supplements we should be aware of?
There's a ton of other supplements out there, each claiming like different benefits, but it's really important to approach supplements with caution.
Yeah.
And do your research.
Don't just don't blindly follow trends. Yeah, jump on the bandwagon because everyone else is doing it.
Exactly. And remember, supplements aren't a magic pill.
Right.
They're meant to enhance a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
Not replace it.
So proper nutrition.
Yeah.
Consistent training.
Yeah.
Adequate rest.
Yes.
For
sure.
It's all important. And I think it's always a good idea. Like, if you're thinking about supplements, talk to a doctor.
Absolutely.
Talk to a healthcare professional before you, jump into anything.
They can help you figure out what's safe.
Right.
And effective for you.
So what are your key takeaways so far from what we've discussed on nutrition and supplements?
I think for me, it's about like really approaching nutrition as a foundation of your transformation. It's about nourishing your body with whole foods, being mindful of those portions, and seeking personalized guidance when you need it.
Yeah.
And, supplements can play a supportive role, but they're not a substitute for a healthy lifestyle.
Right. Sustainable choices.
Yeah.
Things that you can maintain, that fuel your body.
For sure.
And I think that leads us perfectly into our next topic, sleep.
Yes.
And stress management.
Yeah.
Because those are often overlooked, but so crucial.
Absolutely.
For achieving lasting results.
Yeah, they often get overshadowed by all the excitement of workouts and meal plans, but they are so important for optimizing your hormonal balance, your recovery, and even your motivation.
So while we're focused on building those muscles and burning those calories, sleep and stress management, they're like working behind the scenes.
They are. To
set us up for success.
They're like the unsung heroes of body transformation.
Yeah, so we got to give them the attention they deserve.
We do.
So before we move on to that, take a moment to think about your nutrition, your supplements, what's working, what could you maybe tweak for even better results.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back soon to dive deeper into sleep and stress.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we're back. And now it's time to talk about two things that are super important but always get overlooked when we talk about transforming our bodies.
Yeah.
Sleep and stress management.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like people just kind of forget about those things in the excitement of going to the gym and eating, right?
Yeah, people always underestimate them.
Yeah.
but they play a huge role in how you look and feel.
So they're like working in the background while we're doing all this other stuff.
Exactly, like setting us up for success.
Okay, so let's start with sleep.
Okay.
What's actually happening when we sleep, and why is it so important?
Well, when you're asleep, your body goes into repair mode.
Okay.
Like a little pit crew. They're in there fixing everything, rebuilding muscle, getting those hormones balanced, and, refilling your energy stores.
So it's not just about waking up and feeling good.
Yeah.
It's about letting our bodies do what they need to do.
Exactly.
To recover from our workouts.
Yeah, and if you don't sleep enough, you're basically working against yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because not enough sleep, it can really mess things up.
How so?
Well, it can decrease your muscle protein synthesis. That's how your muscles get bigger.
Right.
It raises your cortisol levels.
Which is the stress hormone, right?
Right, and it can even mess with your insulin sensitivity.
Wow, so even if I'm working out and eating well, if I'm not sleeping,
it's not going to work as well.
It's not going to be as effective.
Exactly. Like you said, you're working against yourself.
Okay, so how much sleep do we need?
Most adults need between 7 and 9 hours.
Okay.
But, everyone's different.
Yeah.
You might need more or less, depending on what you're doing, how stressed you are, even your genes.
So it's not just about hitting that number.
Right.
It's about quality sleep.
For sure.
Like really restful sleep.
Exactly. So making sure you have a good sleep environment, going to bed and waking up around the same time every day, and not drinking coffee or anything like that before bed.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about stress?
Stress.
Yeah, we all have it.
We do.
But how does it get in the way of our fitness goals?
Well, when you have a lot of stress all the time, it can really wreak havoc on your body.
Yeah.
It throws your hormones out of whack, causes inflammation, messes with your sleep.
Oh, wow.
And it can even make you crave unhealthy foods.
So it's not just in our heads.
No, it's like a physical thing.
Right, it changes things in our bodies.
Yeah, so when you're stressed, your body releases cortisol.
Which is bad, right?
It can be if you have too much of it.
Right.
Because it can stop you from building muscle and burning fat as efficiently.
Oh, so stressful.
I know, right.
So even if I'm doing everything else right,
yeah,
stress can just ruin it all.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we need to manage stress.
We do.
But how? Like, our lives are so busy and stressful already.
I know, but there are a lot of things you can try.
Like what?
Well, some people find mindfulness practices helpful. Things like meditation or deep breathing.
Right.
Spending time in nature is great too.
Yeah.
Or doing something you enjoy, a hobby.
I love doing yoga or going for a walk.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's all about finding what helps you relax and unwind.
So it's not just about our fitness goals.
Yeah.
It's about our mental health too.
Exactly. Taking care of your mental health is so important.
So looking back on everything we've talked about,
yeah,
it's obvious that transforming your body is about way more than just going to the gym.
For sure.
It's about sleep. It's about stress. It's about understanding how your body works.
It's about living a healthy lifestyle.
Right. And being patient and consistent.
Absolutely. And don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It is.
Not a race.
Exactly. It's about progress, not perfection.
I like that.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, I just want to say thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you learned some new things and that you're feeling inspired to improve your health.
Yeah. And remember, this is just the beginning. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and you'll find what works for you.
That's great advice.
Thanks.
So until next time, keep striving for that best version of yourself.
Absolutely.